As a matter of fact, some of us envy those who read it in the university, who read it in the university when we were there. So there's no crime in reading all those courses. But then, now let's ask ourselves this question. If that child goes to, let's say, University of Ibadan and graduates to become a medical doctor, and he finds himself in the US, is that certificate still relevant? MBBS, University of Ibadan, is it relevant in the US? Without doing any other course. You just go there and become a doctor there. That's interesting. As a lawyer, you spent 5 years in the university, you are a lawyer, you find yourself working in UK or wherever, without adding additional qualification to it. Can you practice as a lawyer? So, when we are talking about global relevance, that means it cuts across the shore of any country. And that is what we are trying to discuss in this session. So I have with me Mrs. Ronke Adeniyi. She is the proprietress of the Posh School in Ikoyi and the author of Red Kings 101. Am I right? And Mr. Adiroko, he's also an author. Daddy, where are you? I love that. Where did you get that title from, sir? Daddy, where are you? All right. So this is a perfect team. I have a team of school owners, and yes, he is also a founder of Parent Mark Consulting, which is the company that does this school of parenting. Until I met him today, I never knew there's a formal school for parenthood. So he is the principal of School of Parenting. So this is Mr. Kiroko. Yeah, I am just in between. In the course of my job, I listen to parents, I listen to schools. So I find a perfect match between parents and school, and I see where there's a connection. And I try my best to make the connection. So I am going to be in between them. So, sir, can I sit here? While you sit there, I want to be in between. Thank you very much. All right, sir. All right. Yeah. Mrs. Adeniyi, I'm going to start from you, ma. Okay, Posh. Okay, Posh. I'm going to start from you. What does it mean to be globally relevant? As a school owner who sees the growth of schools mentally and academically, what does it mean to be globally relevant?
So, for a child to be globally relevant, it means a lot of things. There are many things that would make a child globally relevant. So, let's just talk about, I don't want to hammer on about technology. I think it's obvious now. Is it obvious now, the technology bit? If it's not obvious now, then we need to come and hold you. So, a globally relevant child should have expressions globally. They should have expressions all around the world. And how can they do that? Obviously by leveraging on technology. A child that is globally relevant would have 21st century skills, even whilst they are preschoolers. So they have skills of communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. They also pay attention to culture. Culture can also involve things like language. So we know that we should be doing things like French in the school. Whilst it's great, I was reading recently that if your child is learning French, they would be able to communicate with about 420 million people around the world. But if your child is studying Mandarin, your child will be able to communicate with over 1 billion people around the world. What does that tell you? So, our children should have language, they should leverage on language. And language is not only English, other languages as well. They should leverage on technology as well, and they should have these 21st century skills.
Mr. Kiroko, do you have anything to say about that?
I have something to say. Good afternoon, parents, and good afternoon, educators. Well, to have a globally relevant child, I think we need to start from even compelling a parent to be globally relevant. Because when a parent is globally relevant, it is out of the knowledge that he has or she has that's going to impact on the children. So while schools are doing their own, parents as well, they still need to come up with the seriousness on their part. That's why I'm not really so happy coming here this afternoon, because I know 90%, if not 100% of people that are here are actually either educators or teachers. So we're still going to go ahead anyway. So I represent all parents in Nigeria. So, well, I would say that we still really need to build up parents for them to be globally relevant, so that for their children to raise their children to be globally relevant, so that the way we were parented 40 years ago is not going to be the same thing we're going to use to parent our own children. So when a parent is not in that realm, it's going to be difficult for any parent to raise a globally relevant child.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akero. Like I said, in my job, I am saddled with the responsibility of listening to parents, listening to schools. I've had parents calling my company telling me that, wait, my child likes football. I actually want a school that takes football very serious in extracurricular activity. Someone said, I want my child to have this self-defensive trait, and I like a school that have this character and all that. Okay, Posh, do you think all these skills, when injected into the curriculum, will still make these children globally relevant?
Extracurricular activities, football, and the like.
Football, music, and all that.
Yes, those are what I refer to as the X factor. So this goes beyond the content. So a child that is playing football, for example, the scope is not limited to playing football in school. This child can begin to play football with children in other schools, children in other countries, other states. That's why I said these skills are very important. Communication, collaboration, all these networking skills. So they will be able to be globally relevant just by having an X factor. So if you go to Harvard, if you go to any other Ivy League school, they're not going to ask just for the content. What else? What's that X factor over and beyond English and math?
About you, do you have anything to say about that?
To add to that, when I hear about allow children to play football, allow them to go into music, media, entertainment, then the question I always ask is this: why do we want them to play football? Is it because we have some footballers that are earning billions now? Or is it because we have some entertainers, we have Davido? Is it the same reason why we need to encourage our children to sing? Those things we need to know first. Let me take us back a bit, like 40 years ago. I always like to go into that direction. Sometimes ago, nobody cared to want to study accounting. But immediately M. Abiola came on board. He was a chartered accountant from Glasgow University. Before him, we had chartered accountants, but they were not millionaires. So immediately Abiola came with that, in 1977, 76, started booming. In the 80s, every parent were now directing their children to study accounting because someone had already made millions out of it. That is the reason why you have some people, they read accounting in those days. Where is accounting now? So my question I always ask people is, why do you want our children to go into this? My son sometimes asks about, of this question from me. He said, Daddy, who is richer between a banker and a pilot? And my answer is this: why do you want that? And he told me that he wants to be richer. Is either he goes for, to be a banker or to go for piloting. And I told him, I said, see, number one thing you must know is the meaning and definition of success. If your definition of success just to acquire material wealth, then you'll be missing it. The way I missed it early in my life. I ran after money because I want to be successful, but I was doing something wrong. I wasn't even pursuing something like that. So the question should be, are you going to solve demonstrable human problem by you playing football. What comes first is the solution. So I want parents to not always want to say, because technology, this is techie environment now, we are in the technology era. I still don't want us to say that, to believe that we want our children to go into technology because we want them to be rich. No. What solution do you want to bring? That will not precede and that will follow up. So when solution comes, then the money will come. So I want us to go in that direction. And that's why I'm still talking about the issue of parent. If parent doesn't know what to do, there is no way. I don't want us to follow the bandwagon. We just begin to move this direction. Football, music. So that is my own that I need to say in that area.
All right, thank you. My next question is to Mr. Keropo. Rocket Posh just mentioned that a couple of X factors that are actually part and parcel of upbringing, parents and children, child's upbringing. But as a parent, when you get home, what are things that could be done to complement what schools are doing in this X factor? Do you need, let's say, football? Do you need to have a football pitch at home or what? So what are the things that needs to be done to complement the efforts of the schools?
Okay, well, that's a good one. As a parent, if I have a child that loves football, that doesn't mean that child will grow up to become a footballer. There are some other areas to go into sport. We have some, sports analysts. We have some sports businessmen. We have some sports casters. Do you understand? So, that's why I really want parents to think out of the box. And I like the topic. When a child loves football, doesn't mean that when a child loves to play with phone, doesn't mean that the child will always want to go with it. There are many other areas. That's why we're talking about success factors. There are many things that needs to be looked into. So, for example now, if I have a child that loves football, wants to play football, the next thing I'm going to ask is, why do you love this? Then I pay attention to those areas that he likes in football. While I was growing up, the only area I liked in football was this man. I forgot about this man name now. He was the one that gave Chief Segun Odegbami, mathematical Segun Odegbami. Anything Alex Okoko, thank you. Anything I like about that guy was the way the guy ran commentary. The guy was so fluent. Whenever Chief Segun Odegbami picked football like this, and he's running with it, that's when this man would just be blowing all those things, consecutively. He will not miss anything until that ball leaves Chief Segun Odegbami. So in that area, somebody could have picked me up and trained me in football commentary. So that is the only area I really want to say. I want us to look into it that just like in music as well. In Nigeria of today, every one of us speaks, we talk about some content, some lyrics that are not healthy for our children. But nobody is talking about raising a child that will be developing right content in music. Once we see them singing like this, the next thing we want to bring them up is, it could be a King Sunday Day. It could be why not even training them into writing right content for music?
I'll just add to that. That was brilliant. The question was supporting, how can parents support the schools? I need us to understand that what school is, whatever it is. I'm an educator, but it might be breaking news to a lot of you that I'm not for school per se, because what exactly is school? Are we creating robots? We talk about differentiation in the classroom. We talk about schools are producing and churning out the same types of children, doing the same things, doing the same steps, the same ballet, the same football, the same. What can we do differently? We need to understand our children. We need to know their personality types. We need to know their interests, a lot of it. And technology can also help us with that. When I was going to discover my daughter's love language and personality type, I used technology. I went online, I figured it out. They put some questions there, here and there, add this, do that. I figured it out. I was able to discover it can be expensive, but when you have a child, you must be prepared to invest. I was able to expose her to a lot of things, a lot of activities, both in school and out of school. And the reason I did that was because we must know that the schools cannot give us all the answers. If we think as if there's a perfect school that will groom your child perfectly and give them everything, technology, STEM, these moral values, you're joking. There's a place for the parents. When I discovered that my daughter loved to dance, I said, okay, school, she likes to dance. Let's see what you can do. We weren't getting anywhere. And she was not in a rubbish school. We were not getting anywhere. So what did we do? We decided to buy some mats in the house so that she can start practicing to dance at home. We put some turf outside so that she can dance, so that she falls down, you know, the impact will be less. She started dancing. She realized she liked gymnastics as well. We got a trampoline. We just continued to follow her passion. Next, she said, oh, mommy, there's somebody called Simone Biles. Went online. Who is Simone Biles? Simone Biles is one of the Olympic gymnasts. She started to follow it. The dad bought the books, we bought the DVD, we watched the movie. She knows her date of birth. She knows everything about Simone Biles, or how she wanted to dance in one state and couldn't dance and had to be moved to another state. We did everything to the point now that she dances so well. She has a competition coming up that she has signed up for. This has nothing to do with the school. Absolutely nothing to do with the school. In fact, when they want to do something in the school, they will call her. There's this Technovation as well that they're doing. I put her in coding school privately. Because what they're doing in the school is not often enough. And that is because of the terrain where we live in. Wi-Fi, I've been telling Rhoda and Rotimi and Tony over there. Wi-Fi is a challenge. I don't know why. All the tech people, maybe you can tell us why it's so expensive. Because there's Wi-Fi in the air, free. Go to McDonald's, there's Wi-Fi there, free. All they want from you is your email address. And if you don't want to give them your email address, set up a fake one, like I did. I'll be giving them. Just register. Go to toilet, there's Wi-Fi. Everywhere there's Wi-Fi. Where is Obidi? She talked about Canva and created content. When we download, what are we going to use? Is it not data? And they will tell you that data is life. It's like air now. So why is it so expensive? We need to, as parents, go over beyond the call of duty when it comes to this technology. All the dance steps that my daughter learned, she learned them on YouTube. She knows all the technical names for them. The back flip, this one, pattern, all the technical names, she knows them. Technology. All we had to do was constantly download the video so that she doesn't explore to other places. Constantly making sure that she used technology to dance. As at last quarter, she danced at a hotel in front of an audience of 2,000 plus people. How did she do it? With technology. How did she do it? With her parents. Let's stop thinking that the school will give your children all the answers. They don't want school in Nigeria. Because I looked and searched. I've been searching for her school for 3 years. How many schools have a gymnasium of Olympic standard in Nigeria? How many schools? When was the last time we created anything innovative in Nigeria? I'm not talking about people that have gone abroad and come back, all those ones you see on Instagram. I'm talking about generic. So don't think schools alone. Parents, you need to wake up and you need to do your job.
So thank you, Madam Posh. You actually took that off my mouth. I was coming there, and I did a blog, and the title of the blog is Beyond Paying School Fees. So she really said that the schools can't do all. You know, we're so quick, immediately we finish paying, and you know, I mean, what we went through, or we go through before we pay. So we always think that immediately we pay, especially like 2 or 3 weeks ago, that we done payment now, we are good. That is not. So concerning if, I mean, we have a kind of a special talent from our children, I will discover that you can actually still go to school to go and see who is in charge. Like Shirley said, she searched around and she couldn't find any, and she took it up. Maybe to somebody else, it's possible you will find someone in that school that will take the child up. So be it, you can go. Then another thing that we need to do is who calls for a special meeting between parents and schools. It's always the school. Open day, school. PTA, school. Come and collect, at times they beg us to come and collect results. I've been to my daughter's school before. The day we went to collect like this, some half did not come. Do you understand? So the school beg us to do most of these things that we should ordinarily do. It shouldn't be. So even like 4 or 5 times in a term, we must schedule time to meet our teachers, to meet counselors, to meet some special teachers that you think that can take care of your children. Then I want to say it openly, and even among here, if you have some parents that are here already, there are some specialist teachers around the educators, you can meet them in order for us to do what? To raise a globally relevant child.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the truth of the matter is that, like I told you, I interact with parents a lot, and with schools as well. Parents are fast realizing that academics performance is not enough to make their children globally relevant. They are of the school of thought that if you as a school, all you can do and you are proud of is to get my child all A's, any school can do that. They want to see that extra skill you have deposited in this child that will make a difference. As a matter of fact, if all A is what I'm after, a public school and probably an extra class will do that. So why should I spend so much to put my child in private school if all I want is academic performance? Okay, Posh, do you want to say something about that? What differentiates your school?
I'll talk about my school. I also talk about my daughter's school. So it's over and beyond. So we have guidelines. We need to stick to whatever Lagos State tells us to do. Yes, we have to be law-abiding, but then we have to think outside the box. So in my school, for example, when all these things were just overwhelming for me, and we had to do French, I said to the parents, I had a meeting with them, we will do the French, but we will also do Mandarin. So we do Mandarin in my school, and it's compulsory. From year 1, they do Mandarin. So you see them going me how and stuff like that. Even I'm learning. So it's compulsory. Now, we have to do ICT, which is fine. Okay, a lot of those children can already do it. Year 1 in my school, they can print, they can write bullet points and do all those type of things. But we need technology. So I got a coding teacher, technology teacher. So we also do coding technology as a subject in my school, over and beyond. So we must look for what we can do, that X factor. Now, I've written a book which every school owner should get, Right Kid 101. It's also a curriculum for my school. If you look at it, those that have it will see that it's strategic, the way I put it. We take 1 a week. So we talk about that. So what that is values. The book talks about values, how the child can take ownership of their lives. It talks about technology as well. It's a chapter for technology. X factor, global relevance is also there in the book. That we should help those children over and beyond this scheme of work all the time, this curriculum. When my daughter went to secondary school, her secondary school is over an hour away from the house. It doesn't make sense. In an ideal world, you should live here and your child's school should be there. In Nigeria, that's not the case. There are several schools around, but then I wanted a school that could help her with the sports. She's very good at that. So we will have to make the sacrifice to go there. Now they've discovered other things, and these are the things that take from little, even from circle time. Your children should be able to get up at circle time and say, how was my weekend? They should be able to say, this my jumper is red. They should be able to say, oh, mommy slapped dad, daddy slapped mommy, because they know what's going on. Public speaking skills, communication, creativity. If you say 2 plus 2, don't just draw lines and circles. Take them out to the playground and see how they can come, because the lowest level on Bloom's technology is not just remembering 2 plus 2. So how can we get them up to that level where they can create, evaluate, reason? How can we get our children? That's what we want our schools to do, not just content dissemination. The content dissemination is so much. I was still telling Rhoda now that I went to a school to train the teachers and how to evaluate and what are the things that make you a good teacher. So they talk about the promptness and all those, all the other ones. I said, no, I want to hear more. It's like the notes. They bragged about the notes. The notes will be thick and very thick notes. Any teachers like that? Thick notes? You're pretending. All those thick, higher covered notes that the children will copy from the textbook that they can already read, or they'll copy from the internet that they can already read. Can we teach them other skills? Can we teach our children to mind map, to do things pictorially? Can we teach them in the way that they like to learn? Can we evaluate them? And I heard that the person that even created this exam and multiple choice questions actually has spoken against it, that is the worst mistake of his life. And we're still doing it. If a child does not like to write, but knows the content, can we verbally evaluate that child? Will this still make the child relevant? But because the child has not written it down on paper, the child will fail. So there are a lot of issues. That's why we have to go into policy. You can't just come here and talk. Me, I'm very into it. Who did I talk to today? I was saying, I still need to see how I can get into policy now. Because this technology, if we don't get into policy, we're just talking. We're just talking until we make it mandatory that every teacher was able to use technology. You just dotted around. Just the school, Nigeria is how many million they say? 180. And how many of us are here? I don't even think we're 1,000. Yes, a little fire can create a little spark can create a fire. But this our land is so big. We need significantly more people in policy making the difference.
So from that angle, let me speak from a parent perspective now. Well, the reason why some parents demand mostly academic excellence from their children is simple. Like you rightly said, I think it was one that said that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Out of 8 or 9 types of intelligence that are available for children, I think academic excellence is just one out of them. So I see no reason when a child is not really, well, you need to know what are the reasons why it's not that sound academically. And when you think that, oh, this guy, you've done everything, you followed through to school, every area, you've exploited all areas to make this guy good, and you are still getting some average mark. Pay attention to other areas. But how many parents know? How many of them knows all these types of intelligence? The only thing we know is academic. If it's not 2-1, if it's not 10 A's, it's not even about area. I've gone to Eyebrow Center in VI before, and a parent stood up that the reason why she stays all night working. This man works in a Chevron, and she has told his children that when you get to university, it is either distinction or nothing. So by that, those children will do anything to get distinction. And I always tell parents, by the time you make all those things necessary for them, the children are so smart, they can get you whatever you want. Some children will tell some parents will tell their children that not until you make some level of maybe 90%, 95%, there is no work for you, there is no summer travel for you. These children are so smart as well, they will read and make sure they pass. But as learning taking place. So we need to walk through that area. That's number one. Then number two, when we hammer on those academic excellence, especially there are some parents, they don't want to see failure at all. You are killing creativity in them, and you are not helping them to think out of the box. So the best way we can support school in that is know your children, know what they are good at. Then when you notice any shortfalls there, the next thing you do, move to the school, interact with them, run them daily. Don't wait till you are going to be making noise at PTA. Because at times PTA, we just go there to go and dress down the school, to go and mark them down. That teacher is not good. But during the 2 months period, what were you doing as parents? Nothing. Just waiting for the final result to come. Then you begin to blame the child that the child is not doing well. What are the processes? Did you focus on the processes? You were not focusing on it. You were just waiting for the last day. It doesn't work like that. We need to get knowledge parents.
Thank you very much. That's my last question to you, the truth of the matter is that this differentiated learning, X factor, this and that, don't really cheap. Coding class, this, calendars, and they don't come cheap. Parents have to pay. But I'm just wondering, is it possible for us to have a low-income version of all this?
so that the parents, the children of the common man will still get all these extra skills and still be able to compete favorably with his competent people who go to high school, who have all these facilities. Can we get an open source?
Yes, they don't come cheap. That's why we have to start from the top. On my parenting group online, I asked once and I said, why did you have children? And I'm asking you today, why did you have children? You got married, went to school, and that was the next thing to do. That's usually what I hear. We need to start from that and know that, start training people and letting them know that having children is expensive. Having children is not convenient and it requires a sacrifice. That's where we need to have it. In fact, if they make, well, I don't want to call it a mistake, but if I get into policy, I will do what China did. There will be training and there will be a restriction on the number of children people can have. Because we are abusing that right of rolling around in the bed, having children that we're not looking after. It's an abuse. That's number one. How can we help the lower people that cannot, it's also a 21st century skill, is collaboration. Let schools collaborate. I've had schools come to my school and the children just came to play because they did not have that kind of ambience or facilities and some of the things, and I welcomed them to our schools. Private schools, adopt a school around you. See which school you can help. And then schools can collaborate. Schools should not be intimidated by another school. Anytime LPS around me are having a Christmas presentation or anything, they always send us an invite. They will invite us. We go there, they come to us, we have a chat. They have their own school, we have our own school. The child that will go to your school will stop hassling for children. Stop fighting around for children. I keep telling them, when I started my own school, I had monsters of schools around me. If you live in Ikoyi, you know the schools that are there. You know the St. Xavier's, you know the LPS, you know the Greenwood, you know the big expensive schools. I still open the school in Ikoyi because I have my own market. We have our own market. Stop seeing yourselves as competition. Now, I know that if I have to do something, if I need space, for example, I have space, but if I need more space, I can comfortably go to LPS and say, can I use your space? And I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they will welcome me. I have relationships with a lot of educators. We must collaborate. Stop being intimidated. Invite people to your school to train your teachers in technology. It doesn't mean that they'll be better than your own school. Or if we think holistically that we want to drive Nigeria forward, not drive our pockets forward, then we will collaborate. We will help these schools that are struggling, the public schools. We will go there and help them. If you can dance ballet or do whatever, let's go to their school and help them. If we don't collaborate, it's like divided, we fall together, you know? Just like the broomstick. If you use one broomstick to sweep, it's more difficult. But if you put the whole bunch together, you can get more done. The moment that we are segregated and we're fighting over children and this is my school, we will continue to struggle. Even technology, you can invite some teachers from a struggling school and train them. 1 hour, they will learn one skill. Isn't that right? It's even too much sometimes. They will learn a skill. Some teachers don't even know how to indent. They will first put number 1, put dot, then space, before they write. Then they'll do number 2, space. They don't even know that you can just indent. If you spend 10 minutes, 1 minute, they can learn to indent. But we don't want to help. And even schools are afraid to train teachers. Am I lying? Because you will upskill them and they will go to another school. And I keep telling people, don't be afraid to train your teachers. If you train them and they go to another school, they're going with your seed. Let them go. Because the strength of the school lies in the capacity of that teacher. If you have useless teachers in your school, you have a useless school. If your children are not exposed in this day and age, then your children will not be exposed at all. If your challenge as a school or as a parent is Rocket Bush's hair, then you're not 21st century. Because you understand that my hair will not affect your child's learning. Stop telling children that have a mohawk not to come to your school. Because they're coming to my school, and I'm registering them. Because people are saying, if you don't cut their mohawk, they won't register them. What has mohawk got to do with learning? We need to think out of the box. We must. So much is going on in the schools. Stop laying hands on children in the classrooms. They didn't come to school. They didn't come to church, they came to school. We are doing a lot of things wrongly. We must collaborate. We must ensure that we are exposed. A child that has traveled, well-traveled, comes to a teacher and intimidates the teacher because the child is saying, when I went to Dubai, I went to the Taj Mahal or Burj Khalifa, and when I went on a super speedy escalator, and the teacher is even wondering what an escalator is. You know? And then that teacher will stifle your child. Shut up, I don't want to hear. Stop boasting that you went to London. Stop boasting that you... Because the child cannot even expand. You know, the teachers are killing the creativity of your children. All you parents that don't go for PTA, I feel sorry for you. And I wish parents were here. They know me in my daughter's school. Any school I go, they know me. They think I'm a troublemaker, but I'm not. Now they appreciate me. Anytime they have a meeting with the children's school, make sure you go to those meetings. Because your school, that school, and that teacher can destroy the future of your child. They can stop your child from thinking. And children need to think. They said 5% of people think, 10% think they think, and the rest will rather die than think. Most of the teachers we have in Nigeria today, they don't think. We need to get them to think. Because our children are already thinking, and they're stopping our children from thinking, from creating, from innovating, from even mathematics. They will teach them one method. So it is only one method to solve a problem. Who said that there's only one way to code? Who said there's only one way to anything? Teach our children to be broad. If they stop working in the classroom and the child wants to go out, let the child go out. I keep telling them, they know me in my school, my teachers, let my children go out if that is where they're going to thrive. Stop keeping them in the classroom. You don't even need a table and chair to learn. In my school, we have a classroom that we are setting up now. We don't have table and chair there, we have sofas. They can put their feet up and do whatever they want. We must think out of the box. Otherwise, we're not moving anywhere. We're not going anywhere in a hurry.
Thank you very much. So I think I have to stand up to ask this very last question to create this sense of urgency. Our time is really running out. Is this thing that is trending among parents at school, this mad rush? You can see a mad rush. You can see a primary 5-year-old child already in primary 2, 5-year-old child already in primary 2, primary 3. There is absolutely primary 6 is gradually going to extinction now. And it seems to be that time is what is making them globally relevant. And parents are not helping matters, schools are not helping matters. Is it a good thing? Does it portray any danger to us, to the kids, and to the nation, and to the family? So, just one minute from, you are starting it for parents, for schools, you are starting it for parents, and 1 minute. I will wrap up.
So, for those that didn't hear the question, and just to be clear, a lot of children, schools are accepting children under age and pushing them out, and year 6 is gradually becoming extinct. Again, cognitive skills are different from personal, social, emotional development. And by that, it's not just the content that your child knows. Because a lot of parents say, she knows this, she can add, she can do this, she can do that, she can do that. It's not enough all the time. If you have a genius of a child, please don't stop that one. Because there's some children that are geniuses, but they are in the minority. They are in the minority. We need to allow our children to be mature. Even physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they must be mature. So we need to stop pushing them because we don't want to pay school fees. We need to stop pushing them, allow them to be mature. This lack of maturity contributes to having some leaders that don't have experience and they are coming to lead. Because these children are not mature. They are put under pressure. They're not enjoying their childhood. And that's why they go and become dancing senator and all sorts of things. They are just childish. If they enjoy their childhood, with all due respect, if you really, really enjoy your childhood, there comes a time when you know they are adults. There comes a time. Stop pushing the children. Let them play. When you come to my school, parents will complain. Even teachers will complain. We have an orientation program. When you come to school in the morning, you must play. Don't go to the classroom. Don't even drop your bag. Go to the playground and play. Because what? Educators, we know that Montessori said that play is the work of a child. Learning is state-dependent. The child must be happy to learn. So when they play, even at break time, they're already playing so much. Oh, they will sweat, they will do this. What is wrong with the little bit of sweat? So, let these children be children. Let them do year 6. Again, it goes back to the beginning. When I said this, they put me into policy. You won't have children without permission. You won't, because you won't have to sign that child will finish primary 6, except that child is a genius and is showing some unusual traits. Because I want to be very careful to say that every child must stay back. If the child is a genius, some children don't even belong in the school. We must know that. Some children don't even belong in the school. We should stop trying to just keep them. But for those that are in the school, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Let's do it well. Let's not rush these children. Let them be able to be children, be friends, have social skills, collaborate, learn to communicate with children of their own age. You find a small little child. In fact, I have a physical example. There's a small little child in my daughter's class, and because he's so small, his mouth, because he will say the inappropriate things because everybody's bigger than him. So he's so quick to use wrong words. And I have a feeling that because he's insecure and intimidated, everybody is tall. And it's not, I know that it's not a genetic thing. It's just not the right age. We must ensure that these children are mature. There's a reason for it. They must develop. We are cheating our children by pumping in their which one that here? Their 4 child went to secondary school. And then we put them in boarding school. Again, the parental responsibility. You're already pushing the child to the wrong class, and then you put them in boarding school. You don't connect with the child. The child gets messed up. The child can't tell you anything. The child is being abused and molested and bullied in school. They can't connect with the parents. Make yourself available to your children. Listen to them. Let them talk. Let them be able to tell you anything. Who was I telling? I'm talking so much to so many people today. I was still telling someone I went to the supermarket, I think on Saturday. And my daughter said, oh, look, mommy, they're selling condoms. By the way, she's 12. Inside me, I'm like, oh, wow. I can't even tell my mother that I saw condoms. Even now, in my husband's house. I can't. And yet, my 12-year-old is saying that she saw condoms. And I'm like, oh, yeah, what's the big deal? You want to buy that? No, mommy, I don't want to. But the point is, she can tell me. She can talk about it. A lot of us, we gag our children. They can't talk about it. They can't talk to the teacher because the teacher will say, keep quiet. It's biology time, it's chemistry time, it's physics time, it's this. We just pump content. We must connect with their emotions, with their spirit, soul, and body. Otherwise, we will have messed up children. And we see them all around. Tramadol children. Children that will easily conform. That will do anything, copy any child. If your child is mature, has spent time with you, and you've instilled your values in the child, somebody comes and tells the child, come and take tramadol, except if the child just wants to do it. It's not because the child doesn't know better. He said, let me even try it. Because Rocket Watch is here, I pulled it hard till now, and nobody should send this video to my dad. When I went to the UK, somebody said, try the cigarette. I didn't want to smoke, but I was curious to know what it tasted like. And I tried it. He could send it to my daddy. And I tried it. So if the child does it, the child may have erred from that occasion, but they know the road back. They know the road back, and that comes with maturity. That child that has connected with the parent, has stayed at home, knows how to do things at home. Not the child that they just push, and then 14, 15, they're saying they're going to university these days. You are messing up the life of your child with your own hands. The Lord is going to ask you, what have you done with this child I've given to you?
Well, the mad rush I experienced with my son when he was in primary 5, he did the common entrance and he passed well. And I just told my wife that this guy, I'm not so sure will be able to. No, we never contemplated like he had to go, no. But we just put a thought to it that, oh, let's see. So what I did, I sent him, to a school during the holiday. like a summer school. Go and stay like 2 weeks there and let's see whether this guy is going to be able to handle himself with ours. The third, the fourth day, my son had to call me, Daddy, please come and take me out of this place. I can't wait. So I brought him home and I told him that, now you know the reason why you can't go to secondary school now. And he told me that, no, he never contemplated of going. I said, no, we just tested this one. It's different from his sister. The sister could have left for secondary school from primary 5 because that one matured early. But nevertheless, we didn't allow her to go. She still passed through the school. But now, let me say this. We still need to blame, I still need to blame some schools. Some schools still allow, because my son still told me, my son is 12 and 11, but he has a friend in his class that is 9. And it's not so extraordinarily brilliant. Do you understand? So she has addressed everything. I don't need to say anything more. The only thing I want to say is, parents must not mistake giftedness, brilliance, intelligence to what? To maturity. They are different. Otherwise, we will be raising emotionally brittle children. And we don't want to do that. Because of what? We want them to be globally relevant.
Thank you very much. So before you go, please, can you tell us where we can buy Right Parenting 101? Daddy, where are you? We would like to have copies.
Okay.
Mr. Henry, are you around? Please stand up. Yeah, you can get it from Mr. Henry. He has the books.
Daddy, where are you?
And you can have it for a discounted price today, courtesy of I can't pronounce it. Catalyst. Advanced Catalyst normally goes for 5,000 naira, but you can have it for 3,000 today. If you have a school, make sure that your children are using it. It's not a marketing tool. I've already broken even, Mr. Idayo. It's not a money thing. I have broken even on that book. People were buying that 6,000. It is more for the children. There was a lady that gave a testimony today. Are you here? There was a lady, where are you? Please stand up. And she said what it did for her children. And for me, that's my assignment on earth. And it's coming, I'm seeing it is evident. So it's not a money thing. If it's 2,000 you have, pay it today. You need that book.
Well, for Daddy, where are you? And other parent resource material books. Number 51 of Baby, adjacent Adebola House. See us there. Or you Google www.peremaracademy.com. You can get all those books there. Thank you.
Any discount for those who are here? Any discount for those who are here?
Discount for people that are here.
Only of Edwards.
Only parents. Though we don't have the book here. We don't have the copies of the book, but if you are a parent here, just come and meet me.